Yeah, I don't even know what day it is. 5th day. You can see behind me, the sea is quite on. We're down to just the jib again. Got solid 25 knots. Sea's pretty messed up, very jobbly. We're surfing at up to 15 knots every now and then.
So after an epic 3-year adventure on Lyra Noah, Kerry and I are back at our beloved Jeffreys Bay. So join me as I show you around our quaint surf village and take you surfing at the best right-hand surf break in the world. I'll introduce you to the locals and show you some of the amazing adventures that are available on our coastline. Join me as I take you on an extreme fishing adventure on our backline.
This fish is probably 15 kilos plus. Put it on the back here. Really nice fish. Oh man. Woohoo!
Come along as I take you surfing at one of the best surf breaks in the world. I'll take you along on some exciting hunting trips that are available in this area.
Two down.
Come aboard and join me as we go hunting the elusive blue marlin at Richards Bay.
The fish are still on the same line. That's it. Get in the chair there, D. Yeah, fish is going nuts. Alright, so 450-pound blue.
Then to cap it off, I'll take you sailing on an adventure across the ocean as I do yacht deliveries to some of the most amazing and remote destinations in the world.
We're coming onto the wind line on the edge of Braam, so these areas, if the wind's blowing north, the wind is concertinas here, and you go over 30 knots. Every side of each island, on the south and the north side or whatever the island, it's crazy.
I'm Captain Trevor Hansen, so subscribe and join me as I take you on the next offshore adventure.
Oh, hang on a minute. Ooh, shit. So if you think it's glorious sailing in the ocean and doing delivery trips, this is what it's like. Sitting in the cabin, talking shit. It's eat, sleep, pray, no sex.
Not that we know of.
Definitely no sex.
Jens opened his first OnlyFans account.
For those of you who haven't seen the code red,
Wayne didn't know anything about it. He was sleeping. He said he didn't know what happened.
It's funny though.
Yeah, you've got to find something to laugh at on these trips. Put some music on in that rotation of just sleeping and freaking doing watch and then eating and then going back to sleep again. It's gets a bit tedious. We're not even a week into it and we're already looking like.
but it has been being in a factory or in an office. That I can tell you.
Yeah, I reckon it's definitely better than being in the factory, that's for sure. Anyway, yeah. So funny, I was expecting somebody else to do the cooking. We didn't know who was going to do it, but yeah, it's sort of, I started doing it because my shift is from 8 to 11 and it gives me a chance to do the prep and while the guys are sleeping, and then once everybody gets up, you know, that stuff's done and it's so easy to do if you've done all the prep. So yeah, it's sort of I've sort of taken it over unintentionally and actually enjoying it. I mean, I always watch Kerry doing it and she's a freaking whiz, so it's actually quite fun actually to get involved and to do the cooking. So yeah, we'll go as far as we can. Yeah, I'm actually just doing a little bit of prep for a chicken mayo sandwich. So yeah, that's our lunch for today. Pretty simple, using leftovers and stuff like that. So you just make it up as you go along. And guys are busy putting up the code 0. The wind's dropped down a bit. So yeah, we're gonna go on the bigger code, get a bit more speed. I've just finished doing a little mix of chicken and onions. So this Starlink stuff is insane. Sitting in the boat now, been doing editing, just downloaded a video, sitting watching the cricket, streaming it on DSTV. Yeah, it's a serious game changer. So this is the afternoon, watching a bit of cricket and catching up on social media. I'm on shift at 8 o'clock again this evening. Gonna go and put the veggies on in the oven, so they'll be ready at about 6, half past 6. And I like to eat. Ian's at the wheel. He's cooked some rice. Don't burn it, eh? Don't burn it, damn it.
I promise, Mr. Trevor.
And Sid's having a lekker relax on the sofa.
Burn the rice, I'm over the edge. That's it, done.
Yeah, we're all doing a little bit
Relationship.
to to keep everything going. I've prepped some veggies there. I'm gonna just stick the oven on now. Roast veg. Ian's got the rice done. And that's actually a frozen goulash. Yeah, that's the view without the plate. We got 1 or 2 frozen veg and frozen dinners which we brought from Cape Town. This makes it a bit easier on your nights when it's rough and shitty. Although I must admit, on these cats you very seldom have evenings where you can't cook, that's for sure. Yeah, so day 7, not quite 7 days. We left on the 3rd, so going tomorrow morning will be 7 days. We've done just over 1,000 miles. The wind's sort of backed off a bit now from that 25 to 30 that we had. We still got sort of sustained 20, and it's light enough for us to fly the code 0. So we got the code up into the sun, just tripping along. Sea settled down a little bit. It's not as lumpy and choppy as what it was yesterday and the day before, and we're cruising along beautifully now. Really a little bit quicker now with the code out, but yeah, very, very nice sailing conditions as usual. This is normally a nice trip if you don't cop any bad weather. Do a little pan around. Code, beautiful big sail. Magic conditions, lovely conditions once again, and scheduled to drop off through the next 2 days. And yeah, hopefully we get onto the Spinnaker in like really flat conditions and we get a chance to catch a few fish. Maybe snaffle a little white marlin. That'll be really nice for the boat. So I've eventually put my watch on so I know what day it is. It's the 11th. All the days melt into one when you're out here. We were supposed to have a little wind hole and the wind to settle down, going down to 14, 13. But last night we were rudely awoken by some gusts that were coming through over 20 up to 25, and we still have the code up, so a bit of a mad scramble to get that down in the dark. We had to go back onto the jib last night, and this morning the wind's absolutely straight up 180 degrees right up our rears, so we back up our gull wing with the staysail and the jib. We could go harder, but yeah, you know, it's so much more comfortable and less of a hassle if you do it just sort of one step down from what's optimal. It makes it easier on everybody. You don't get the boat banging. We were going on runs last night, like super fast runs in that wind with a code 0, and the boat's sort of almost getting out of control. You're going so fast and being surfed for like 50 meters. Yeah, you don't sleep. It wakes you up because you can become acutely aware of the problem. Anyway, we've got both sails tied out to the side max, so maximizing their area, and the wind's directly from behind. Yeah, smooth sailing in a bumpy sea. Now see, it's overcast again. Yeah, so forecasts are just forecasts. You can never trust them, and that's why when you sail at night, it's always better to be one step down rather than one step too much. Yeah, you sleep a lot better. Yeah, this water is an absolutely beautiful blue. It's definitely marlin water. This we're still a long way out and sort of in 6,000 meters, so not much of a chance of getting something. But we've got the teaser out. Got the teaser running about sort of 20 meters back, 15 meters back, and then I've got another rig on standby with a hook. So if we get a little we get a little white marlin or something up that's handleable, I can pitch it, do a switch, pull in the teaser, and then pitch it the hook lure, and yeah, hopefully have a little bit of fun. This is the Versa helm. Just can fold down into 3 positions. So be careful I don't get my finger fracture. It goes all the way down. So you can steer from down below. Watch my hand. Gotta get the timing right here. And there she's in that 3/4 position. And then fully up. There we go. Cool invention. Yeah, this was a late edition, so we could store a little bit more frozen goods. It's always a problem on boats when you're sailing. The more freezing space, the better. Drains your batteries pretty quick though. So yeah, it's a toss-up between having enough solar and enough fridges. Yeah, this boat's got a redundant autopilot, so it's a spare, totally spare, which is the same as that one there, and the spare rams. We've also got, this is an emergency shut-off for the winches in case you have something go wrong and the winch is jammed going, in other words in gear and initiated, so you can shut off the winches by just hitting that button. Somebody gets caught or something like that. She's got a standby system, so if your autopilot packs up or your fly-by-wire packs up, you can go onto a manual engage. It's really cool. It's got double gauges top and bottom. Double helm controls top and bottom. Handset, spare handset. You've got a rechargeable torch, spotlight on call if you need it. There's our safety harness if you need to go up and do anything in really bad weather. We got binocs. We've got a spare little flashlight on a little holder so you can put on your wrist. We've got really sharp knives, spares, and a working harness here. So yeah, there's our dive gear in a little pouch. Yeah, it's been pretty well thought out. Sid's made contingencies if we have a problem. He has stuff in all the right places. So yeah, very nicely thought out. And yeah, she's been going like an absolute dream. It's probably the best boat I've been on as far as complete without any hassle so far. We've only had one glitch, and that was a little Wi-Fi hassle between the radar and the modules, the screens. I think it's just a conflict, an IP conflict or something. We'll get that sorted. She just reset her on the DB board, and she comes back again. So it just looks like a Wi-Fi sort of conflict. But for the rest, everything's working 100%. Absolutely perfect. And the lads have been keeping everything really tidy. We know Sue would approve. So yeah, all going good. Yeah, one thing Sid's fallen in love with from South Africa is the Omar rusks. Asked me to buy 10 boxes of them. I thought, wow, that's a freaking immense amount of rusks. But we're pretty much down to the last box already. We should have bought a lot more of those, and I think we're only 7 days in. Yeah, that's definitely something he'll be looking for in the States, I can guarantee you that. As you can see, our power's taken a bit of a hit with the overcast conditions. If you've got sunshine, this 3.2 kilowatts of solar charges up the batteries really quick. We may have to use the integral alternators on the main today just to boost her up again if we don't get any sun, and it looks that way. So yeah, When you don't have solar and you're not running the motors, you need to heat hot water, and obviously the cooking as well. I must admit, this induction stove uses half the amount of electricity that a normal stove would. I mean, a kettle normally uses 2,000 watts, and boiling a water on this stove uses less than 1,000, and it's probably 3 times quicker. So yeah, really good technology. We haven't used much fuel. Yeah, see our water's down to 50% below. So we're gonna have to make some water today as well. So yeah, that's gonna drain the power as well. Yeah, we're keeping an up-to-date log. We're only doing a log a day. Not doing hourly shifts. We're not on a commercial boat. So yeah, just making sure we log what we're doing every day. So keeping everything in a straight line. Yeah, so we've run the main motors for about 2 hours while we've been making water. You can hear the water maker running in the background. I'll go and show you now. And yeah, just on one motor she charged up to 100%. We've got enough sunlight now that's actually keeping her at 100, and the water maker is still running. Spare carbon filter. Pretty quiet by comparison to the one we had on Lyra, which was a Schenker. It's going to the end of the 7th day. Oh, beautiful sunset as usual. Pretty much the same shit, a different day on the ocean. That's how it goes on these crossings. It's yeah, it gets quite tedious. It's the same routine day and night. I mean, it's really nice, but yeah, it's just great to be on the ocean. Here we go, she's peeking out a bit. See a little mark from a squid. Still on the goose wing or gull wing. Wayne getting a snap as well. Yeah, tomorrow the wind should die down a little bit. It's actually beautiful now. Sea settled. Should get some really nice gentle sailing for the next 2 days, and then hopefully a little bit of wind to push us into St. Helena, and hopefully a few fish as we arrive as well. Yeah, as I said, our other crew member and skipper Wayne has pulled off an amazing feat, having rowed across the Atlantic, or been the first to row across Atlantic with a friend of his, Braam. Yeah, they were the first guys to do it, leaving from Cape Town and landing in Rio de Janeiro. It's been done before from the Canaries, but not from Southern Africa. I'm going to be chatting with him and just find out some of the insights of this incredible journey. It's amazing to hear how he actually got involved there and how this whole trip came about. It's a crazy story, and I'm sure we'll have some other crazy stories to go with it.
And he names the boat
Mondoro.
Mondoro.
What does that mean?
Which means lion.
Lion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mondoro, the FD there says, okay, look, we'll pay. We'll have our name on the boat. They pay for the logistics. They get the boat to SA. Once the row was done, we were going to tour the country and promote Mondoro and promote the row and the ocean conservation, blah blah blah. And then basically the boat then be shipped back to the UK, where they recycle it and it does the next race or
whatever. Yeah. So how did you actually get involved with going on the trip in the first place? Because you weren't originally going to go on this trip.
No, it was from my daughter breaking her wrist. She fell at school and she broke her wrist. Okay, it's a long story, but Braam was standing there talking to.
So Braam had already imported it into the country.
Yeah. Okay. It just landed. So it was there with no sponsorship on it. Yakking to.
Who was he intending to do the trip with?
Pete van Ketz. Oh. And Pete's wife talked him out of it. She said, "You're not rowing with that."
So you a chance meeting went there, and then Pete pulled out.
Pete pulled out, and then he was advertising for other rowers. You know, people that knew knew rowing. I never rowed a boat.
And how well did you know Braam before that?
Nothing.
Not at all?
Nothing.
Never met the guy?
No, 4 days before departure, yeah.
And then you threw yourself in 4 days before departure day. Did you leave on the day that you were supposed to depart?
Yeah, there were a few delays. The boat was supposed to go in Jan. And
Yeah.
there were delays for weather. The weather window just was never opened.
Okay.
So the boat only actually left on the 7th of February. But,
And the original date was?
1st of Jan.
1st of Jan, so a month later.
Yeah, I was supposed to leave at the same day as the Rio race. So I think
Okay.
that was the first
Supposed
of
to be
the
a fanfare and everything,
Yeah,
yeah.
So the first time I actually rowed the boat was when I got on it that morning and I held the oars in my hand and said, okay,
The first time,
let's do
was
this.
that it?
Yeah.
You never rowed the boat before you left?
Never fucking moved the boat.
So the only rowing experience that you had before that was like zero?
Fuck off.
Nothing?
I went to the erg in my mate's lounge. He was a rowing coach,
A rowing coach,
yeah,
okay,
from
so
Thames. He was one of those Thames
Yeah.
rower guys. They row like this.
Oxford
So the only rowing you did was on a ergo freaking rowing machine, filmed and then basically told how to, your
Okay.
posture was looked at and then
Yeah.
like given some pointers and then
Yeah.
you got straight on the boat.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
No training, no jack
Not
shit.
at all. Nothing.
That is freaking nuts.
Nothing. Yeah.
Man, that is ballsy, crazy,
Yeah, it's crazy.
so dumb possibly as well.
Anyway,
But
and
you
we
made
left. But throughout this, all of this, we were here.
Now listen, it's madness. I'll tell you what, if you want to understand, like if you've done one of these crossings, we've been going for 8 days now and it's just water and we're flying. These guys are doing probably two nights, at best, and often less than that. So there was 3 months at sea. How many days exactly?
92.
92 days at sea with like absolutely minimal frigging gear, food, tired. Man, you come and have a look what it's like out here. 8 days and there's nothing. There's nothing out here. There's not a ship. There's absolutely nothing when you're out of the shipping lane. So you're absolutely and totally isolated and on your own. If something goes wrong, there's no way somebody's picking you up out here. I mean, we haven't seen a ship since day 2, I think, and that's it. There's just absolutely nothing out here. Yeah, it's a daunting thing when you've done one of these crossings. You don't realize it when you're on land, but when you've done one of these crossings, you'll understand. And I don't think you could possibly even fully understand what it was all about. So join us next week as Wayne shares some of his scary insights into what it takes to cross an ocean on a rowboat, and shares with us some of the scary experiences and the funny experiences that they had on their crossing across the ocean. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll catch you next week. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now.